Everybody, hello, happy Tuesday, and welcome to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All finale. Woohoo! Yes, we finally made it. With that extra long case, we finally made it to the end. Last court hearing, yay! Hope everyone's excited, hope everyone's rearing to go. And see if we'll actually manage to get good or bad ending. I'm kind of actually considering, whether we should try to get both of them. Because I vaguely know, after vaguely glancing over Wiki, where we might, kind of swerve towards the bad ending. So, I don't know. Shall we try? Accomplish both? There's an achievement for getting the bad one, so, there's that at the very least. But yes, we are still looking for Maya. We are now 100%, us and everybody, almost sure that Madame Guard is really the one who booked the killing. And that Shelly the killer is the one that done did it. And everyone is actively looking for him. Edgeworth's force, to be more precise. Even Gumshoe is helping out regardless of him being kicked off the force and thus getting himself in an accident, trying to help us in time. But yeah, quite a few things are transpiring as we speak. The evidence that he has recovered is now God knows where. We have cleverly decided to somehow get Francisca out of the hospital to detect him, the whole beeping thing that has been plaguing Gumshoe's life. And we're just kind of going back after a 30-minute break, since we needed to identify whether the suicide note was actually written by Miss Impax and not potentially Adrian Andrews. So, with the recap out of the way, let's jump right in. Have no idea how long this is going to take us. Would only assume that vaguely, the usual 2.5 hours-ish, but with the double endings, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, here we go. And yes, hello, yes, let's try. Let's try. Hope you've been having a good one so far, by the way. Here we go. March 22nd, 2:35 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready? Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impax's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that the suicide note is a forgery. Gasp. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impax herself. It is a fake. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impax, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Well. It looks like Miss Impax never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about Guard. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Engard could not have known that, and so that facts remain unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it.
That does sound very plausible.
This theory that Engard had no idea that the suicide note was fake, something seems a little wrong with it.
Starting off strong. Here goes. Wow, what a start, indeed.
Something seems a little wrong with it. Present evidence or back down.
I am not entirely sure what seems wrong with it. I'm not sure what evidence to present, so back down for now?
It's no use. Something feels wrong, but I can't put my finger on what it is.
Actually, there is something I would like to ask. Mr. Edgeworth, you had stated something earlier to the effect of the defendant had spied on Mr. Kurita's private life. I believe this would mean that he would have known about the note as well.
That's it? Yes, and so naturally, this means Mr. Engard would have known that the note was a fake. Ugh. Well, that depends on how long he was spying. Really?
Order! Order! See here, Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
I was the one who thought of the spying thing. Jumping in and stealing my thunder like this is simply... I can't even describe it.
Yes, sorry.
No, don't you dare! I could have even bragged about embarrassing Mr. Edgeworth to my grandchild, had you not. For that, I assign you a penalty, Mr. Wright. Fuck you, Judge.
What? If only I had kept my mouth shut. But I did.
Listen, I had no input over him, you know, barging in. So, yeah, screw you, game. So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way.
Exactly, Your Honor. Phoenix, don't tempt fate. Prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Engard's motive for murder was, it has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Engard monitors Mr. Kurita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Engard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place?
Order! 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 Mr. Edgeworth! It looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave.
Yeah, dug him some help, for once. As I figured.
As you figured?
As I figured. It came down to this after all.
Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense.
When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next?
What next?
If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Engard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle.
Well, I agree with you there.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time.
Oh, well, that's fine.
However, this witness is a little unusual.
Is Polly making a return?
Please? Edgeworth stuttering.
This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth?
This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelly the killer to commit murder?
That's That's impossible! Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness?
It is...
Yes, go on. Who is it?
The man himself. Mr. Shelley the Killer, so they finally caught him, huh?
Oh, Mr. the Killer. Whoa, wait! Shelley the Killer? You mean the killer? I mean the assassin?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's coming here, to the witness stand.
Well, yes, in a matter of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission.
Well, Mr. Wright,
Yes?
is this alright with you?
Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor.
I wonder if it really is alright to do this.
Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? But does it mean that Maya is now safe if they caught him? Is it really him? I guess we'll see. Now then, witness. Your name and your, occupation, please?
Oh, in that way, huh?
Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I am a professional assassin.
Oh, I say! What is going on here?
Your Honor,
How can you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio?
actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what the urgent phone call he got earlier was about.
Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself.
Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are, in fact, Shelley the Killer.
I understand. Please wait a second.
I'm so hungry.
Maya!
Maya!
A voice! Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this?
The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley the Killer.
It looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so...
Now then, witness, there is one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else.
And what would that be?
At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Corrida. Is that correct?
It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Corrida.
Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client.
Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream.
Shelley the Killer. What is he going to say?
About my client. Well then,
There's something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client.
Okay. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us.
Most likely. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief.
You mean about this trust between his client and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know, excuse me, what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. Well, this surely will go well. And we have so little health left. Screw you, Judge! There is something I must first state. We can't hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry. Go on.
Well, it appears this one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright.
That's only because you don't know about Maya's situation. But to an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between the client and himself. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome.
And that is why you're testifying in this manner?
This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my client can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did... Yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly...
That's enough! Please, no more!
Very well. It was only a hypothetical. Anyway. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role.
Their role?
This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven.
Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty?
To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die?
No! No, I didn't say anything!
The judge had better watch himself. It is my wish that you grasp the concept before I give the name of my client. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. That egomaniac. It's not good for you to, for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff, just tell us the name already! Patience, try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. What do we target here? So nothing is more important than the trust between the client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Do we start by, like, I don't know, the card, or the frigging spy cameras, or frigging profiles? I can only assume that the breach of trust has been the recording part, maybe? Because he kind of didn't trust him enough to, you know, for the killer to do the kill. Or it could be the card. Let's see, what do we have again? To which we can connect. Use my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my killer. I'm guessing to this bit? Save! We don't have all that much health to mess around with, unfortunately. Started kinda strong, but you know who had to make it otherwise. Let's maybe start with the profiles? The client? Question mark? Nope. This evidence clearly reveals nothing. Oh. Well, that's my first three thoughts. Either the client himself, the card, or the camera. Perhaps. Nope. And not the card. And could be any of it, of the things that related to the recording. The camera itself, the transmitter, the bear, the other bear that was found in the house. Press it. Again? Okay, I can press it for you. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. These are the roles and duties as an assassin and his client are to carry out. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. Can they please stop doing that? Why do I have to press things twice? In this specific case? That sucks. I don't like it. Nuh-uh. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person. I have no trust relations with the client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who could have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think. Really? In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. And that is the reason I am here today and at this witness stand. Now then, I do believe it's about time I reveal the name of my client. Don't you agree? Hold it! What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness! What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Juan Corrida? That person's name is... Detention. Adrian Andrews. What? Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here?
My guess is that Mr. the Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Matt and Guard, perhaps. I knew it. This is outrageous! I was deceived! This witness is telling a very serious lie.
But you were the one who summoned this witness.
Shelly the Killer! My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt and Guard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah.
The prosecution has failed to prove a motive and has instead provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. the Killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all.
No.
With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt and Guard is innocent.
I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict.
Bailiff, please bring Mr. Adrian Andrews in immediately.
What now? With the way this is going, and Guard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And then Guard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this?
Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would not absolve the defendant?
Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Surely the killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie. This is the third time we're bringing her here, please. Poor Adrian. Miss Andrews, the suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie.
But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client.
No, that's not true.
Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button, donning the nickel samurai costume.
But that's...
You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impax was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead.
No. Mr. Wright! You know the truth. Tell them! Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them! Please, help me. Yes, I know the truth.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions.
I have to decide. Well, there's one simple decision to be made. Save the bloody game. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am am I supposed to do? Well, we're already pulling Francisca out of the hospital. I mean, it would be funny as a prank, obviously, but I feel like this is the correct way to go. Phoenix? I can't do it, Maya. I can't accept not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Matt Engard is a killer. A murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than Engard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the truth. He could have gotten Engard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him. Yes, you do.
Mr. Wright, your opinion, please.
The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer.
Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright?
Right.
But that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done.
I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here, in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur.
Very well, the trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. the Killer.
Right away, Your Honor.
I hope we did the right thing.
Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you need from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What is he talking about? Usually done?
But what shall we have him testify about now?
Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people are your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court?
Probably because it's expensive as fuck too.
As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Carida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules.
This is a most unexpected turn of events. For the, 5th time now.
Yeah, I've lost count.
However, this time, everything has finally been revealed.
Objection!
Just a second, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
We still have the cross-examination to do.
But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, the defense will question the witness, as if I have a choice here.
Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then
I'll expose the lies in that oh so beneficial testimony, I suppose.
I don't understand what's going on anymore.
That makes two of us. I think we passed that point a very long time ago. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However...
What is it, Mr. Wright?
If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. Uh-huh. I got your point loud and clear. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit.
Yes.
How much is your fee?
I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney.
Huh?
If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial.
No. I'm not thinking of...
Mr. Wright!
Yes?
You want to kill me. You want me dead. Don't you?
Why would you think something like that, Your Honor?
Guilty! Mr. Phoenix Wright, you are hereby declared guilty!
Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? It would have been amazing if they just deleted the rest of our health. We're not doing the X-Files, the truth is out there. Well, we are doing the X-Files. Well, with everything that's happened during this case, it's... might as well be. I want to believe. One thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah, well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client, this time, thought that they could run away from their guilt. My client did it to frame another for the crime. Are you talking about the button and the knife?
Yes, and my business card.
Oh, this card.
So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make this as easy as possible. You try to make things easy?
My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work.
But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with the knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook.
It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene... So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing?
That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too.
No, I already told you I have no intention of using your services ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on the trial here?
Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead.
From the very beginning?
That is correct. From before my client visited the room.
All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. That's odd. Okay, point taken. But even more appalling is the creation and planning of the knife and button. Planting, rather. Oops. So why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested the murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Ungard. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill, that is all, and to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall, that act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. And that's all you have to testify. Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again. Again? As in, you plan to continue? I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? Excuse me? No, I'm fine. Really? Are you really now? I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do now is expose the lies. That's true. However, you realize that will be very bad for our client, right? I'm so confused. But the one thing I know for sure is I can't let the trial end yet. Okay, so... Edgeworth called suspicious on the third to last, didn't he? Agent Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. Did she now? Let's go through this again. From the very beginning. That is correct, from before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. That is odd. Pulling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. Same client and broken the rules. Let's look at all of these one more again. I'm pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the crime scene. Let's dial it back all the way, not go backwards. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. One thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the... Okay. So we have to prove that she couldn't have known that he was already dead? Is that what we're getting at here? Okay, let's look at all of this, I guess. The walkie-talkie. The murder. Has the once again tomato juice and the guitar case have something to do with it?
Photo of the crime scene. The button. The suicide adjacent stuff. Time of death, 8:15. Cause strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Still no follow-up on the scarf thing, isn't it? Should we present the autopsy report, maybe? Here? Haven't touched it for a while. The victim's blood and guard's fingerprints and the grip gate water is engraved. Picture taken in the hallway right after the murder. Placed next to the victim at the time of the murder, Miss Andrews was carrying it. Set to record the victim's room from 8 p.m. for 1 hour. Was running at the time of the murder. Changes the footage taken by the spy camera into radio waves and transmits the data. The spy camera was set in the right eye, found at the victim's room in Mercy for the Bear. Found in a guard's mansion with love, Celeste is written on it. A wooden puzzle with the hollow inside, only Corita and Andrews knew how to open it. And found inside the figurine tells of Engar's horrible misdeeds. Why don't we save the game? Feel like this is a good time to do so. Let's try this.
Objection!
Nope. Ain't it?
Let's think facts over before making accusations.
Whoops. Well, obviously, yes, you have spoiled yourself because you have the kite open at all times. Not sure why, for what reason. But, okay. Tomato juice.
Objection!
Tomato juice, tomato juice, tomato juice! Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer.
What is the meaning of this attitude?
When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Corrida has been murdered.
But how? How do you know that?
From this wine glass, Your Honor.
Class.
Mr. the Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Corrida had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim.
But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan?
That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind.
Brain genius. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion?
Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct?
So you think?
I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Corrida's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange.
Yes?
Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix? If the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry.
Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you.
Anyway, I am positive that there was a contradiction in that testimony. The
prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now, I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here, I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. The request taking. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes.
So you physically met your client, huh?
That is correct. Meeting one's clients is the first step to building trust, in my opinion.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Here we go again. And also, everybody, hydration check, posture check, food check, nose check, all of that stuff. A good time to do it, wouldn't you say? We're about an hour in. How's everyone enjoying our time with the killer? Big quotation marks. His beautiful scarred, or rather stitched countenance is yet to grace us, if such event shall even occur. This request came to me about a week ago. 1 week ago. Are you sure? Yes, I am quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you requested my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please stop. In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. A specific date and time. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. But as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? I kinda want to press further, but... let's save.
Right there!
So what are the suspicions you had? Why did your client request the night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear. My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Corrida's room. Boy, we're there! Would you like to retrieve that item? I would like you to retrieve that item for me. He must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference after all. That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see.
Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
I kinda wanted to hear the rest though. It was very important. It was not important. If I pick not important, can I come back to this later and, continue on? I guess we did save. What the killer said sounds plausible, but in the end, it's just his conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think it's very important.
Well then, witness, please continue.
We'll come back to this. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right?
Of course I did.
What was that? What was with that brief pause?
Press further.
Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details.
I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or email.
And why is that?
That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
I mean, I feel like we'll have to prove that they have never met. Right? But there's still one point we have to press on, so let's pretend it's not important. Why he meets his clients is not important, and that's why. That wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions.
What do you mean by that?
My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person?
I have already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him.
Who is this him? Is he in the room with us in this courthouse with us?
That's when I thought I can trust this person as a client. It's true that they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
Well, yeah? How did Adrian Andrews just turn into him? Is it because of the name? He didn't realize that it's a she. Is that why, game? Is that why? It was not important. I want to see the last point pushed. I was not sure there was something, but I can get a good grip on what it is. I guess it wasn't all that important.
Very well.
Phoenix? Yes? What did you hear just now? Clean out your earwax and pay attention, Phoenix. You're letting his words slip by. No, I don't. I guess I missed something back there. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Yes, I want to press the final point, okay? Get off my, business.
That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes.
So your client was Adrian Andrews?
That is correct.
Well, he says the two of them met, but if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw his suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about the delicate balance. Okay, well, now we know where to hit where it hurts the most. Do not. Sounds banal but true. Well, let's see what comes out of this. Press further. It was not important the first time, but the second time was pretty damn important, I think. It was not important. Trusted him. It was very important. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance.
Huh? Really?
If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony.
Very well. From the moment I saw him, I thought, I can trust this person as a client.
But as we now know, that was not how it turned out, correct?
What do you mean?
Adrian Andrews turned out to be a client who couldn't stick to the rules, right?
Well, yes. I suppose you are correct.
So I would like to check on one last time. Are you sure your testimony is accurate?
That is what what occurred? I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes.
Well, this doesn't lead to jack shit, but I guess maybe we need to press this again? So your client was Adrian Andrews?
That is correct.
Well, he says the two of them met, yeah. But if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange around. What? Do we have to present her as, you know, a profile? Is that it? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Has to be it, correct? What else am I supposed to do here? I don't think we can get them on video call. Adrian Andrews. Oh! We got John Doe and Shelly the Killer.
How intriguing!
A professional assassin always leaves a Shelly card near his victim's body. Adrian!
Objection!
I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time?
Yes, that is correct.
And that's when you thought he was trustworthy.
How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct.
I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale.
What?
Shelly the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews.
Why would you say that?
Because you made one very big slip-up. About her.
So what is the issue? What did you say just now?
About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, well, luck would have told you that she is a woman. Shelly, your circuits are showing. Can you please conceal yourself in front of the court?
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
This witness testified to the following. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request.
But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person.
Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews.
Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, could somebody get a bucket for the witness? Why would the assassin make such a basic mistake?
I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor.
Her name?
Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name.
Yes, I see.
Well, luckily for Mr. the Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with.
What? What is going on? Shelly the Killer. This court demands an explanation.
I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now?
Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more.
I know he's just going to spit out more lies.
Very well, but this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. You can't handle the truth!
Okay. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. Yeah, sure. The request was for the murder of one corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man.
So you took this job through a letter.
He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know, I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me, no matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it.
Now then, let's begin the cross-examination.
Which one is it? Like, the 4th one already? Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time?
No, I did not.
Oh, come now, let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me.
Alright then, just cough it up and confess! Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. I'm a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. the Killer met with his client?
No? I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof.
I see. Then your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Don't even think about it, Judge.
Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. Badoomts. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more requests.
Oh, business is booming, huh?
La-di-da. If I met each and every client, I could lose some nice business opportunities.
Nice business opportunities?
On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times and now take requests via electronic mail.
Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a specific insulated envelope?
I am very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I mean by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email. Never heard.
Email?
In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot, hands down.
That's it. Bring in Polly.
Ahem. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and the request was for the murder of one corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. 2 or 3 other things. Yes. And what were those other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case.
Press him! Press him more!
What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It would be really bad if I push his buttons to the wrong way and he got mad. Well, I kinda want to though. Should we let it go for now, or because there is one more point that we can push? Press, rather. Well, we saved, so whatevs. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. I pissed him off, didn't I? Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one? Wait. Uh-oh, this is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Fuck it. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it's really that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine. After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Corrida's suitcase. I mean, yeah, his suitcase was open when we went into the room. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. Well, Powers saw him giving it to his client. Not Andrews. This information certainly sounds important to me. Yes, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. I hope that's not gonna bite us in the butt. One of those was to find the bear figurine and to give it to Adrian Andrews. I found this figurine at Mr. Engard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there? I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Engard, I'm sure.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony?
Again, I kinda want to see the rest of it, though. It's no use. As long as I can't put my finger on the central problem here, pressing this witness anymore would be extremely dangerous.
It appears that Mr. Wright has no problems. Well done, witness, please continue.
We might get back to you just yet, pal. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you're saying that you never saw your client's face? Not even once?
I did. Once.
It was when I went to give my client this figurine. Then how did you know what your client looked like?
Yes, I see.
But Miss Andrews was wearing a mask at the time. Ah! That's how you're going to cover your ass, huh? A mask.
A mask?
The Nickel Samurai mask, I'm guessing.
Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about this? Do you have any problems with this piece of testimony?
Kinda, sorta, not really. You know what? I'm going to save. Oh, big surprise, I bet. Sorry I jump scared ya. No objections. I think I can pull something out of what he said, but it would be real bad if I did something and made him mad over something trivial. There are no problems with the testimony, Your Honor. If
pretty much reached the end of our rope here. Huh? Seems like we're still okay to me. And that's exactly what is so bad. At the rate we're going, we will end up completely destroying the killer's lie. If we do that, you already know how serious of a situation that will put us in. Oh, yeah. All I can do now is pray that those items reach us in time. So we have to incriminate him to some extent. There was a photo of him giving it to someone else. To someone, right? No. It was part of Powers' testimony, but we don't have any concrete evidence. Let's put it that way. Should we pull this picture up again? I wonder. I mean, it is her wearing the costume and the mask. And the pants that are way too big for her. Margarita and Andrews know how to open it. Don't damn, I think I remember such picture. Well, again, it was shown in the picture. What we were just shown, it was exactly the same, but it was, again, during the recollections of our other witness. I don't know how else to find the bear figurine and to give it to Adrian Andrews. Well, we could press this one further. And we could press this one further as well, which ended up in this being added, correct? Let's go again. I found this figurine at Mr. Engard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there? I was waiting for her there. Why? If you already gave it to her, I'm confused. Was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Engard, I'm sure. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony? Let's see what happens if we push this. So the killer says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews. But I know somewhere in that statement there is a contradiction. And yet, I know that if I present something trivial here, he will cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. She's right. So what now, Dr. Wright? Well, the only thing I can think of right now is that the freaking bear was somehow waiting at the mansion, as he himself said, already after the fact of him giving it to her? Huh? Snake, you created a time paradox sort of situation? Fuck it, we're going. Witness, let's go over this one more time. You gave Miss Andrews the bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for her at Engard Mansion? Huh? Is that correct? Yes. Where are you going with this? Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly. What? This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it is possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. Because you gave it to her at the hotel? Take that. Shelley the killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going.
Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase?
Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it, for her sake. If, even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. I have a gripe to address. Okay? This time, unlike many other times, if you might remember from our previous testimonies, the game was very, very specific about which item you present. You're getting what I'm you're picking up what I'm putting down. This time we presented like the adjacent item to the note, not the note itself. And previously the game was like, no adjacent items, it has to be the exact item that, you know, is gonna be talked about. But this time, somehow the bear carried us through. Thank you, bear, for not wasting our time.
Order, order, order! So that's where you two were going.
To the cafeteria, yes. So, by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle.
Which means?
It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client.
Oh, oh. Order! 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. Did I fuck up? I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement.
No, that's not.
That's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do.
Wait, please!
Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
Hold it! No, please! Not that! Please wait!
Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in there? Mr. Wright, are you? Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor?
I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough?
Oh, shoot. Edgeworth, we can't do this. We'll keep this up. Maya, she'll... The prosecution...
What has come over everyone? Even you are.
The prosecution... rests.
What is going on around here?
The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor.
What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then, even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. the Killer's testimony is accurate. What would you mean that Shelley the Killer's client is? Adrian Andrews.
No.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
If I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Matt and Guard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder.
Miss Andrews would be charged with murder.
The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defendant's final remarks.
Yeah, just give me a second. Yep. Okay, ready to give my final remarks. Ready as ever.
Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Madam Guard, to the stand.
Oh goody. The items from the killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. So we did it wrong? Dude, did the old guy finally decide?
To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent.
Huh. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out.
But, Mr. Guard,
What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap is just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice, or should I save Maya's life? You better get and guard a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Sanders will be charged with the murder. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose.
now, then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statement on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Madden Guard, is innocent.
There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right. I can't do this, but I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Madam Guard, is... Well... This sucks. I'm just gonna put it out there. Well, we kinda recently saved. Not very close to this, but we did save. Can't save now. As you can tell, they have taken away our interface. There's no two ways about it. I'm afraid we'll have to choose. Let's try a not guilty first, maybe?
We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright.
I think Wright is having a heart attack currently. Sorry, forgive him.
Matt and Guard, your client deserves an answer.
Maya, I'm sorry. Matt and Guard is... Yep, I was expecting this. There she is, in all her glory. Francisca von Karma.
What are you doing here? Ow!
You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them, the final pieces? Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Avant Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition.
How? In perfect condition? I guess the car crash did nothing to it at all, huh?
Don't worry about Scruffy, he's fine and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this.
What a filthy old coat this is.
Hey, that's Gumshoes. I can't spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in.
I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence.
Your Honor, inside that filthy coat
are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down the verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial.
What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence.
I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please.
These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police.
You must have been in quite a rush.
Yes, Your Honor, the killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere along the evidence that we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle.
Keep saying that word.
I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case?
I mean, no, I don't think so. Cause Corita was allegedly killed by Scarf Inning, didn't he? Question for more details. Sure, why not?
Does that pistol have any relation to the case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case. At least, with me.
Ah,
so that's the gun you were shot with, huh? That's the pistol that he used to shoot you, isn't it? That's what I believe, yes.
oh.
I kept the bullet they removed from my shoulder as a sort of memento. I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test. So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Francisca. It's probably not going to help us very much.
But it's added to the court record.
Anyways, a small caliber pistol that is thought to have been fired by the killer at Francisca. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from Engard's mansion. Question for more details. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to.
Oh, yeah.
But I would speculate that this tape is very important.
Why would you say that?
Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it. That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. he injures 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow, it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Surely the killer is no ordinary man. One of the items retrieved. The killer violently tried to recover it.
Contents unknown.
The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Yes, I believe we might have met. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel?
Question everything.
Was that used during the crime? I am almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it, the killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There is one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? There's a button missing on his uniform. A button. It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. Worn by the killer on the night of the murder. One of its special buttons is missing. That is all I have to present, Your Honor.
It's just as I thought.
And what is that, Your Honor?
I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelly the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing.
It is who is the client.
Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Or do they? Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down.
Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence.
Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs at hand to hand down a verdict.
Wonderful, absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong.
But I'm right, though.
I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us.
2?
The first... Make Engard wish from the bottom of his heart for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Engard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way... force the killer to end his contract with Engard. If the killer were to no longer think of Engard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible. He's a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The biggest problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what always worked for us? The other side. Wait, does she mean? You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge, we have seen all the pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end.
There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict.
Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids?
Objection!
I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence.
The court needs to save, I feel like. We are approaching the point, I believe. I am not saying it is us that need the evidence, Your Honor.
Then, you want to show this evidence to that person?
Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance.
Oh, one chance.
Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
Objection!
That's impossible. To turn the situation around in one try.
One try. That is all I will permit.
I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! There must be a way to save Maya while talking and guard down at the same time.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show this evidence to?
I mean, neither of these people know that we just brought the evidence into the court, didn't they? Miracle was a horse in Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 2. Well, bring it into the courtroom then. What are we waiting for? Chop chop. This doofus? Maybe?
I see, and now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show to this person.
Well, I know the correct piece of evidence. I'm just not sure if I picked the correct person, though. Are we going to try and go for the bad ending now, everyone? Because I believe this is when. If I remember correctly, by very vaguely glancing over the wiki. Yes? Okay, then it's whatever. We'll just pick any piece of evidence. This bear.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
I don't have anything to say to this.
How about you, Miss Von Karma?
Well, I was just shot, so... Good reaction.
I'm afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue.
What?
No one understands what you are talking about anymore.
Oh, wait, please, one more chance.
This is enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Matt and Guard.
Yippee? Hooray?
This is all. This court is adjourned.
And just like that, the case came to an end. I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. I never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he'll release her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist.
Give us the achievement, please. Yay! Woohoo! Task has failed successfully. Congrats, everyone. Got the achievement. Okay, load back in. Now we can hire Killer to kill the guy. Yes. Again, from the top. I'm saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor.
Then you want to show the evidence to that person?
Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance.
One chance.
Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
That's impossible to turn this situation around in one try.
One try. That is all I will permit.
I have to try to remember. Let's save a bit closer, I guess, just in case I fuck this one up. Everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking a guard down in the same time.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to?
It might be this ass.
I see, and now tell the court what one piece of evidence you would like to show to this person? This. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness.
Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier.
Alright, it looks like I managed to convince him. Hello, again. Maya, she's okay, right?
Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if you understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence?
Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back.
That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client.
Who is your client? May we hear that one again, please?
I was told to protect that videotape.
I thought so.
I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard.
Do you know the contents of this tape?
I was sternly told by my client to not watch it. So I have absolutely no idea.
Actually, you are on this tape.
Me.
There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded.
What? Is that true, Mr. Wright?
I mean, we've already talked about it. Jeez, Judge.
Who was it that planted a camera?
Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at a scene of the crime would be your client, naturally.
That was Adrian Andrews.
Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Ooh, damn.
Yes, sir.
Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right?
Yes.
That was so they could film you.
I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why.
Why did Matt and Guard film the crime scene? To get to the other side. The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client could secretly film the crime scene. They wanted to see Juan get his, wanted to blackmail you, didn't trust your skills. Well, I think this one's pretty obvious, isn't it? Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what he said. Apologies? But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelly the killer? No. Oh. Need a pocket tissue? It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and thoughts of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all danger that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us on one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors, most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. Damn! Damn indeed. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. The traitor? I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. Did we do it?
This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I actually am I don't quite know what just happened here. There with the, Miss Von Karma, where did that...
She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Mr. Engard, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Help me? Now
Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please.
Is this alright with you, Mr. Wright?
We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Boy, how long it was! Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. Can both him and the killer come as a, you know, a nice little package in the guilty set? What is your guys' verdict? Would it be unanimous on guilty? That's what my heart tells me, at least. What does everybody else think? Let's hear it. This is your chance. Yes? Yes, it is. Matt and Guard. You son of a bitch. Even though I am a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here. Me, my wondrous whole self, guilty? Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot outside the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it. You can't run away from your crime anymore. No! Guilty, 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 guilty! I mean, also letting him get killed by the killer? Not such a bad alternative, wouldn't you say?
As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth.
We? I don't remember you helping out this much in this.
Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt and Guard?
Bad, I hope. I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. Incineration would be also an amazing alternative. I'm sure he's getting a full course meal of whip leather right about now.
Very good, indeed. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness?
Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. I don't want to go through this again. Thanks, game, but no thanks. Fuck that part. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone.
It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about.
Don't think too hard about it, Judge. It's over.
But everyone seems to be in good spirits. That is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned.
It's not an alternative, it's second sentence. March 23rd, 5:14 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 4. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. you got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting not guilty, right?
Yes, I understand now.
Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moment before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence.
Again? They're going to make us do a choice at the very end again? Also, that being said, since she mentioned that this is the first time we got a guilty verdict, should we, after this is wrapped up, load in and get the not guilty and see what the hell happens? If we let him walk for as far as the killer will allow him to go. I'm also curious to see what dialogue she will give us.
To think the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence, think about the incredible decisions you had to make.
Now then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter.
I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice or should I save Maya's life? My client, Madden Guard, is... We picked not guilty, did we?
Is he guilty or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer spoke to that, to what a lawyer means to you.
Right! Edgeworth, I have good news. Maya is now safe in police's custody.
Really?
Pearls!
You're telling us the truth, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, she's quite safe. She's on her way here as we speak in a patrol car.
Huh? Mr. Maya is safe! You did it! You really did it, Mr. Nick!
Ow, she punches deceptively hard for a kid.
I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her.
Thanks.
Oh,
What's wrong?
Miss Von Karma.
Hi. About earlier, thanks? Ow! Why are you still smiling? Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you are still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you! Don't worry, she may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts. So, did we pick well in that case, since we're getting all of this lore? I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remains spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. Or is it a non-choice? I don't know, only one way to find out. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then... it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. Ha! As well as you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die.
But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something.
That you're forgetting one case that was exclusive to 3DS. Dummy.
And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change.
What foolish nonsense.
We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so,
Objection!
no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith
And sweating profusely. And saving all the damn time.
And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well.
What? You trusted your enemy?
It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach that one single truth. This, I promise you.
The truth.
Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding, isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night.
Ah, is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick?
You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in things you said to me all those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that Miles Edgeworth I knew has died. At least that's what I told myself.
You pathetic fool.
Miss Von Karma.
I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Francisca threw something onto the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. How's he doing, by the way? Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else.
Ah, isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip?
I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right?
I don't wanna, but okay. Maya!
Mystic Maya!
Mystic Maya!
Reunited! And good is how it feels. Now there's a deep cut for you.
Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got on guard convicted, like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me.
Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck with this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here.
Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a big ghost through Pearly.
Is it really that easy to do something like that?
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Don't mention it. Oh yeah.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm relieved you're alright.
Hey, it looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. Okay, hamburger time.
Alright, I think it's time we go out of this depressing place.
Huh? Where are we going?
Food, Nick! Food! Grub! Chow! I'm starved! I'm so hungry even you look like a nice juicy burger and a bun to me, Nick.
You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least.
Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please.
If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up your usual burger joint?
Don't be silly, Nick.
Huh?
This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast.
Another feast? Well, with our luck, they probably haven't cleared the Viola hole yet.
Come on, Nick! Food!
We'll see Nick in Buff cosplays. March 23rd, 7:38 p.m. Yeah, I sure hope they cleaned up whatever the hell was left there after the whole party by now. Hey pal, sorry to keep you guys waiting. Gumshoe, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things. That's what did you in? Embarrassing, really. A telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him.
Yeah, did it again, city boy.
Just as long as old bag is not here anymore, please.
I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking.
Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of the Steel Samurai. Thanks.
Now, looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it. Tonight, even.
I'll keep that in mind.
Well, come on now. Everyone gather around. You're gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer.
Looks like Lotta brought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal.
Amen to that, pal. Amen.
Oh, back in your suit, I see. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, detective. Huh? Me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think the trial would have had a very different ending. Ah, well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir.
What? 4?
Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item.
Aw, come on, y'all, it's over. But oh boy, I tell ya, you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think?
Why does she look so happy about that?
But being shut away for 2 whole days. Weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off of things, I drew a picture.
Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So, where's this picture of yours?
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mr. Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. It's too bad. Oh, well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway.
It sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. Hello? Anybody wants to get that? What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. Is it Gumshoe? Oh, that's Miss Von Karma's receiver. Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, it's probably butter or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do.
Huh? But, Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet.
You're eating way too much, you glutton. Hey, give her a break. She didn't eat for 2 whole days. I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me... Wait. What? I just want to say... Thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. Huh. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. Fucking hell, why didn't I save? You want this exquisitely expensive bear? Or would you prefer this whip to remember Francisca by? Or how she got shot, maybe? Heck! What do we give to him? See, I knew they were going to put me on the line like this again. I just didn't expect it would be this late. What do we give to Edgeworth? Other than our full devotion and attention. Till the end of our days. Boy, I wish. Anybody wants to look it up, or should we just kind of shoot in the dark? Whip? Is whip actually the correct thing to give? Yes, it is. Yell objection after that. It seriously is the whip. Okay. Enjoy. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. I'm just getting rid of this bloody whip. I don't want it. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job.
It looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya? Yes, Burley? I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Burley? Would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me!
Anyway. So, who's paying for this lovely dinner party? I'd like to point fingers, but maybe I shouldn't.
As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick!
Huh? Yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill. Huh? Huh?
Yeah, got me a situation just like that myself.
Exactly.
There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It better be anyhow for $3,000. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all.
Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick.
Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? You don't need to hold back now, you hear?
Yeah, pal, time to let it all out.
This is going to be the first time I hear the real you.
Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all.
Alright then, if you say so.
Objection!
The end. So it was bait? We're not paying for the dinner and the camera and everything else under the sun?
You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro.
These scroll very fast. Damn, that was wacky. Yeah, pretty wacky lengthy case.
I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the 2 of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymoons. So, sort of, I made reservations for the 2 of you just in case.
With what money? Is it on my tab again? Why does everybody have access to our credit card? Or bank details? All of a sudden? Well, pal, it looks like I'm back on the force again. Oh, congrats. Mr. Azure had a long talk with the chief and he got me back in, I guess. I heard he said things like letting that one go is a bad idea. I know crashing headlong into everything is only one way to live, pal. Again, I only guessed what the end of 2 of those sentences were like. Too damn fast. Oh, hi.
Hi, Maggie Bird. I'm retiring this uniform. I'm going to be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joy to people who come by the restaurant. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright.
Remember her from the tutorial case? And the banana glove? Been a while since we started. Oh, God. Yes. Are you here to visit a patient? I'm Director Hottie. Ha, ha. Recently, yes, that girl, you know, I haven't seen her around. Yes. But I remember, if I ever laid so much as an eye on her, it would go crack. It didn't matter if I got whipped though. Yes. Get the sperm away from me already. Never again. Who else is going to grace us? It's time to begin our quest for world circus domination, sweetie. And to let the world know we're serious, I plan to make a fabulous something rather than other.
Hey Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think we're castles of cake and bunnies who can talk?
I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at most jokes. You know, facts. For once, Max said something factual. Next, please. Oh, God.
I'm ready. There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm going to be more contemporary with my humor. More curls, something.
We've got our act all worked out. Prepare for the hallelujah. Say something, will you? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. This is like a boss rush for me right now. On the timer too, mind you.
What's this? Drat, it's just an ordinary electronic razor. I can't believe this. Really? How long do they plan on making me do this? Oh, but it's A.G. Pooh's idea, so that means it must have been deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? It was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world is... Yep, here we go. One last run for the road.
Yep.
I deserve this, surely. Who else are we missing from the cast list? Or are we done here? Oh, hello. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. Aw, they're becoming BFFs. I hope she's not gonna teach her any whip tricks. Oh. It has become difficult for me in this country. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. You wanna tell us the homepage? Oh no, we're not going to hear the homepage. How will we use the services? Betrayed. Our trust has been broken before it has even been established. March 23rd, 9:42 p.m. International departures, gate 12. Is he really leaving? Or is someone else? Where are you going, Francisca? How did you know I was here? What this? That's... I heard you were planning things on a certain person. Planting. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. Huh, that's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from the killer hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things. It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here. It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. Francisca. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you're a persecutor. You have been and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. About that. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge.
I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can, just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Huh. Today you chased after me after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Francisca von Karma. I am Francisca von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now, so you had better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Well then, Phoenix Wright, one day, someday, is it still her? I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Ha! Karma hit her at last. Well, everybody eventually get theirs. So that was Maya's masterpiece. Yay! Congrats everyone, we finally did it. So, do we or do we not try to load back in and get the give him the non-guilty verdict and see what dialogue transpires after that? I guess we'll just skip through it real quick. Do we still want that, or do we wrap it up here? Okay, well, where the heck was that? Was it here? Was it here? I don't bloody remember. Let's rate this one. It's one or the other, I imagine. Why did Matt and Garn film the crime scene? Okay, so this might have been a bit earlier on. Wanted to blackmail. It's okay. We can load in a bit further out. So it must be this one. Plead not guilty. Here we go. Congratulations, Mr. Matt Engard. Please make sure to savor every moment of what little time you have left. Your Honor. As always, the defense pleads not guilty.
Very well. This court finds the defendant, Matt Engard.
Oh? Somebody has something else to say? Please wait.
What's the matter?
If I get a not guilty, I'll be killed.
You sure as hell will.
I'm no guilty. So he gave himself a guilty verdict.
Oh well. As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth.
I don't remember you helping that much. Yeah. Full course meal of letter whip. Okay. So let's skip to the after dialogue.
I'm sure this is all gonna be the same. I'm just curious to see what they're going to say if, you know, we as usual get the non-guilty verdict. How things turn around in that conversation with Mia and company. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. Well, I did? Well, no, I didn't. I said they're not guilty, but apparently non-choice. Oh well, I still stand by him rotting in jail. How's that? Of my own accord, mind you. Not because he said so. We're leaving. Saw that one on Wiki. Okay, so... who wants to look at some art? I know it says there are gonna be some spoilies, but we'll try to avoid them for the next game, I guess. Even if we get into the next game, it's gonna be like early game stuff, so maybe we should be fine. And I didn't show you guys the ones from the first game, because again, we were a bit afraid of spoilers, so... art book. Illustrations. Why not? There you go, this is from the first one. I'm sure you recognize this crew. And this crew. And that handsome fellow. Walking down the memory lane here. And, but... been a while since we've seen him. I'm surprised we haven't had enough butts in this one. Which is... did we see him at all in this game? I don't think we did. I don't think there were any butts this time. If Maya and Emma ever met. But I don't believe they did. The usual culprits. And that's the second one that we've just finished. Justice for All. Yep. Von Karma and Whip TM. The art from the cases. And this is the next game already. So, yep, we're piecing out. From here. Scenes probably gonna be stuff that we've seen already. Yes, this is from the Witness Recollections. Characters? Just characters. Backgrounds? Probably just backgrounds. Yep. Okay. Well, that's about covers it, I guess. So, what's everybody thinks about the game? The sequel, The Legend. I feel like... I mean, as good as an Ace Attorney game is, which is pretty damn good, I still feel like I like the original game better. Kinda more solid cases, I guess. I didn't dislike any of the cases in the first game. In the second one, big top, big letdown for many reasons. I have already ranted enough on that topic, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Yeah, more complicated for sure. Not necessarily in a good way either. I feel like they went a bit overboard with it. I mean, we got used to Psyche Lock somewhat later on, but I still feel like it kind of dragged out the game a bit more than necessary. But I did really enjoy this last case. Even though it was very long, I feel like it had a lot of layers to it, and that interesting part where we actually had to, you know, weasel our way into the opposite side and try to, you know, extend the timer, try not to get our client to be very suspicious. That was an interesting bit, I feel like. That's about it. The tutorial case was clearly not as iconic as the one with the Thinker clock in the first game.
Second case with Maya getting guiltied, well, you know, almost. Of course, we saved her. Was okay. I did enjoy that case with the Eenie Meenie sisters. Again, big top. And the last one was the strongest one, I think. So, yeah, good game all in all. Slightly weaker than the first one. Still enjoyable though. And it took us more or less the same amount of time, I believe. We finished it in as many streams. But yeah, hope everybody enjoyed their times with the sequel, with Justice for All. And whenever we get to the last one, Trials and Tribulations, I believe it's called, is still a mystery to me. We're probably going to take, once again, a little bit of a cooldown. And we'll see. We'll see when the inspiration strikes and Justice calls again. Sounds good? Alright then. On Thursday, we are hopping in back to Yakuza 4. Now that this whole thing is wrapped up, I guess we're going to focus on Yakuza. Have 2 streams a week, so we can also, you know, speed this up a little bit. And I hope you're excited to start part 3. Whatever happens next, I wonder. Alright then, until then, take care of yourselves. Hope you have a lovely week. Stay safe. And I'll see you next time here on channel. Okay then. Bye for now. Peace.